This video will contain spoilers. It's been a while since I made my last video, and I can't remember everything that I need to review. I know that there's two cinema reviews, an Apple TV review. Um, I could be it, but it just feels like there's more because it's been so long. Um, I think the last thing I did was Scary Movie. Okay, so yeah, if it's a Scary Movie and then a watch, which means that there's another film to do. So actually, there's another one on top of that. I think that's 5 films. But we'll just get through it. See them. Universally negative ratings. I watched it in cinema. Nicola Coughlan, Nick Frost, Emily Wood, James Acaster. It's kind of weird seeing people like him in films now because you have him, you have I forget his name. He's an Asian comedian. He was in Wonka. I think his name is like Phil Wong or Phil Wang. But that honestly that sounds like something you would see in a racist cartoon. Jessica Hines, Murray MacArthur. I'm pretty sure he's mostly a YouTuber who does like skits. I didn't like. I was never going to expect this film to be good, and going in with that mentality, I wasn't disappointed. It has moments, but it is. You just need to take a look at like the fucking poster to tell that it's not going to be the best. Love the way that there was an article talking about like a review, and they said that Nicola Coughlan's talent was wasted, and I find that both funny and cringy at the same time. Because one, it's funny because they're kind of saying that Amy Lee Wood, it's the kind of thing they would expect from her because the only other thing she's done is Sex Education, which is absolute shit. Um, but at the same time, it also pisses me off because they're kind of saying that it's the kind of shit you expect to see from Nick Frost, even though Nick Frost done Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, Paul, probably a few other. I think it was in Spaced as well for a bit. So the point, anything with that, but the point is that, not surprised that Emily Wood is doing this. Because she usually does shit, although this is actually okay. It's like a 6.5 out of 10. And Nick Frost, I mean, he hasn't really done much. I know we did that show Truth Seekers on Amazon, but I heard it was shit. I haven't seen it though. And Jessica Hines as well. Great seeing her. She hasn't really done anything since Spaced. Like, I don't think she was in any of the Cornetto films. The only other thing I can think of is she was in that show. I forget what it's called, but she plays David Tennant's wife in it. And she might have been in Breeders, I don't know. I just both my tablets. So I can't think of anything else to say, really. It's, I usually don't, I try my best not to judge books by the cover, but I gotta say that the cover does a really good job of telling you how good the film is. Late Night with the Devil, universally positive ratings. Shudder original film. I've been aware of Shudder for a bit because they're a streaming service, but they do exclusively horror films. And they've started making their own. But it's, as far as I know, it's mostly YouTuber type stuff. Like it feels almost as if you have YouTubers making horror films just so that they can make videos on their own fucking horror films. um, I'm more that Talk to Me was made by YouTubers, but that's not Shudder. Anyway, I watched it in cinema. David Dastmalchian in his very first lead role. And I don't think I recognise anyone else. Michael Ironside was the narrator as well. Forgot about that. I'm glad that David Dastmalchian is getting the recognition he deserves because, he's been in Hollywood for 16 years now. He had a small role in Dark Knight. He had a bigger role in Prisoners and both Dunes. MacGyver. I know it's on Hollywood, but he was in MacGyver. He was in The Flash. Suicide Squad. Like all that. Not a single lead role until now. And he kills it. Like, he's absolutely believable as a 70s late night host. I didn't. I know it's kind of obvious because of, it's a 70s late night show, but I didn't expect it to be like a found footage type thing. I actually don't mind found footage. And this was done really well. And it's on for like an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes, and half of it, nothing really happens. It's just, average stuff. It's Halloween night, 1977, so they have a couple of like spooky guests, we'll just call them. And the only thing that really happens is the first guest, who is a spirit, a medium, I think they call themselves. I don't know. He spouts is the term they used in the film. Like that. The second time it does it was a jump scare, but other than that, nothing really happens like horror wise until the second half of the film, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I didn't I got it's a horror film, but I thought it was going to be kind of more talky. Because it did seem like, I might be just reading too much into it, but it did seem like that the whole purpose of the film is that you shouldn't really like sell your soul for success, because they show off the scene where he signs a contract for the channel that his show is on, and it does kind of seem like he's making a deal with the devil. Like, I just got that feeling. But despite that, I was thinking to myself, like, they didn't play this in Bangor. This was like only in the novel. I was thinking with the right advertising, and they put this in Bangor. The Bangor cinema is going to get so much money, but they're just not playing it. They've done that with a couple of films recently, and it feels like they feel like they're too good for them, even though they played fucking some other hood. um, Despite the fact that there's a sort of warning for when jump scares about to happen, because it has like a sort of white noise sound effect when a jump scare's about to happen. Despite that, it was fucking terrifying. Like especially when I'm just, Lily, she goes to kill everyone, or so it seems. I like the way that you don't actually know if maybe the devil is actually in her, or David Dastmalchian is just crazy and killed everyone. I like that. It's kind of a reflection on everything that he's done wrong in his life. Um, but when I see Immaculate, which is the only other like full on horror film I've seen in cinema, as soon as the credits rolled, I was like, it sort of left. It had no lingering effect on me. But this, I didn't want to drive. I did drive and got home no problem by the time I was home. Felt fine. But the only other thing that has had that effect on me is Gravity Falls, because I felt sort of empty when I finished it. Um, so it's a shame that this isn't getting like. I know it's hypocritical, ironic, coming from me talking about how this film needs to be marketed more, because I don't feel like films should be marketed. But what I mean by that is that something like the Batman or just superhero films in general, they don't need advertising, because we we keep track of that shit like fucking government agencies keep track of supposed terrorists, so there's no need for marketing. Like, we know that Deadpool 3 is coming out in November. Um, like, we know it exists. We know it's coming in November. We know that we're getting TVA, Wolverine, going to be a multiverse thing. There's absolutely no need whatsoever for a trailer. Like, if they're going to have a TV spot, all they could, like, instead of putting all the time, money, and effort into making a full-on trailer, they could just get Ryan Reynolds, the, like, not as Deadpool, but as himself, just come on screen and say, Deadpool 3 coming out November 2024. And that's it. That's all you need for Deadpool and superhero films. This, on the other hand, because it's like, I feel like films post 2017, like if films like this came out before 2017, everyone would have known it, everyone would have watched it, and it would have got, like, it wouldn't be a cult following, it would just be a following, mainstream following. But so many films coming out post 2017, because they're post 2017, have nowhere near the amount of attention. And people will blame it on superhero films. I don't blame it on superhero films, because, I mean, you know, before 2017, we had the first two phases of the MCU, and it's not like they it's not like they weren't popular. All the MCU shit, Dark Knight trilogy, we had Man of Steel, I guess. We had them, so it's not the MCU. Anyway, I went way off track, so moving on. Scary Movie 2, universally negative ratings. I watched it on Netflix. Morgan Wayans, Sean Wayans, Anna Faris, Natasha Lyonne, David Cross, James Woods, Tim Curry. Fucking Beetlejuice. I forgot about that. I seen this a while ago, and I just kept on forgetting to do the review. I quite like it. I like the way that instead of following Scream 2 or Scream 3, well, actually, this came out the same year, Scream 3 was, so it couldn't do that. But I like the way that they moved genre. It's still scary movies that are parodying, but they've moved from slashers to supernatural films like The Exorcist. And I'm glad that they've done that, so I don't know anything about Scary Movie 3, but with that, they could do sort of invasion type shit, or just something like Alien or Predator. Scary Movie 4, it could be, I don't know. But I like the way that it's not it's not repeating itself that way. um, I think I actually seen more scenes from this than I did the first one, which is weird because I mean, the first one is so iconic, but this one isn't. Um, Nothing traumatizing in this one, and that's about all I have to say. I got a free trial for Apple TV Plus, and it lasts a week, so I want to make the most of it as I can. So I was watching NCIS LA with my granda, but and I used to like constantly take breaks or switch shows with things I was watching with them all the time. You know, in 2019, I went from Arrow, the Prison Break, the Breaking Bad, to Prison Break, the Arrow, the Castle, to something else, the Castle. Then just it was ridiculous, and like from I kept it consistent from September 2022 onwards. You know, then till June, NCIS, then till November 24, November, The Mentalist, then to January, Elementary, January, Suspicion, January to February, Hawaii 5-0, February to March, CSI, and March to now, NCIS LA. There won't be a final review for that when I finish it though, because Paramount only has from seasons 8 to 11, and I've seen Hawaii 5-0 and CSI on Paramount as well. They also don't have the complete show, but it's the first half of them that they don't have. They don't have, like, CSI was from 12 to 15, and Hawaii 5-0 was from 6 to 10. But this is the first time that they don't have the start and they don't have the end. So, but I'm taking a break from it. I'm just watching a bunch of random things that I think you would like on Apple. And the first of it is The Family Plan, universally negative ratings, Apple TV Plus original film. I watched on Apple TV Plus. Mark Wahlberg, Michelle Monaghan, Maggie Q, and Gene Hurt. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be some fucking YouTuber or Twitch streamer. I was going to say I haven't seen Maggie Q in anything since Designated Survivor, so it was a bit weird. Anyway. I'm guessing it's Timmy is also some YouTuber or Twitch streamer. Yeah. I don't get why you have people who are in the gaming world. I know it's a bit cringe to say it like that, but you know what I mean. You know, people who know games, but yet willingly star in things like this, where it's I don't know if like the actors maybe they play games, but it's just the director is so like unwilling to move on his vision, but every single time that there's someone playing a game in a show or a film, it's exactly the fucking same. It's always, you know, they're chatting to their mates or someone in the game. Oh, you're trash, dude. Boom, headshot, and like I seen it in Elementary once, and that it was exactly the way I just put it there. He was playing Far Cry 3, and it's and this I were playing fucking Valorant. Um, but like I think that's the only thing bad I have to say about it. When it comes to, I'm just gonna call them True Lies clones because that's really what they are. You know, you have True Lies, the film, the show. You have Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the show, the film, the show. You have this. I think there's another one, but I'm just gonna move on because I'm just gonna think too hard about it. When it comes to all of those, out of the ones that have come out recently, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the show, and True Lies, the show, this one is the best for my Granda, I think. Like Mr. and Mrs. Smith is, it's like if Tarantino did it. Whereas True Lies just isn't funny. But this one, I quite like this one. It's really funny with like the baby, like clapping along and giggling anytime Mark Wahlberg kills someone. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy, but I mean, I don't mean to make a pun out of this, but it is a family film, so it's kind of expected. Um, but it part of it was surprisingly like realistic because I mean, any other film, Michelle Monaghan's character would have killed Maggie Q almost immediately, even though Maggie Q has been, she's a trained assassin, has been doing this for decades, whereas Michelle had killed her first kill maybe 5 minutes ago. Um, so like that scene in terms of how difficult it would be for, I'm just gonna call them by the character names, Jessica to kill Gwen. Very realistic. Um, yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I'm just gonna move on. Masters of the Air, universally positive ratings, Apple TV Plus original series. Watch it on Apple TV Plus. This review will be for the first 2 episodes. Austin Butler, Barry Keoghan, Ncuti Gatwa, only 3 people in this I recognize. I thought there'd be more. Um, when it comes to I'm just going to call it the Band of Brothers trilogy. So you have Band of Brothers, the Pacific, and this. I I like them. I just don't get the praise that they get. I don't think it's as good as people say it is. Like my dad has rewatched Band of Brothers like just so many times, and good show. I don't get the praise, and it's same with this. Like I like the characters, I like the dialogue. It's just maybe I'm wanting more action. I don't know. And I've seen 2 episodes because what my plan was my granda was falling asleep today more often than ever, and that's because one, we're not doing NCIS, and two, something that I'm not going to get into for personal reasons. So I thought, I'll put on this. If he's still asleep by the time the episode is over, I'll go on to something else. And I'll just keep on going between shows until I find something he likes. But he woke up. No, I was watching 5 Days at Memorial. I was falling asleep with that, and I went to go on to the second one, and I wasn't gonna skip for like the recap and all that. I was just gonna fast forward for it because the intro would have been it would have woken him up because it's very loud. And I didn't know where the volume was because he has like a speaker. But I don't know if it's because I tried to skip. I don't think it is because I tried to put on something else, and a similar problem happened. I'll get into later, but it froze. And I had to go out of Apple and then back on, but because I went out of Apple, it started playing whatever channel they were on, and that woke them up. So I put on Masters of the Air. So there should be at least 3 final reviews coming soon. 2 of them I've mentioned in this video. One is, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but that might actually be coming first. I don't know yet. Because what I'll do is Masters of the Air. I'm going to put that off for a bit, possibly. There's another show I'll be watching with him. If he likes that, we're sticking to that. If he doesn't, we're probably still sticking to it anyway. Or actually, no, that show's renewed. So I won't go back to Masters of the Air. Finish that. Any time that I'm at his house, but he isn't there, or he's asleep or something like that, I'm going to put on 5 Days of Memorial. And because there's only 2 episodes left, I think, it'll be done very quickly. And then the final show I'll just be watching at home when I can be bothered. Because if the things I'm doing at home currently are, I've been playing Lego Hobbit. No reviews for that. And it's, out of everything that I've played in the past year, Lego games wise, it's my least favourite. I don't like the fact that just the campaign missions feel too long. It's the first one that I know I'm not a fan of. Like Ninjago, I'd never seen Ninjago, but I did, but it was years ago. Also, it was just really funny. Whereas in this, I wasn't listening to the cutscenes. I would have skipped them if I had the choice, because I've already played the game before, but it was when it came out, so I don't really remember. It's like 10 years old now. I know this is technically a review, but I just want to rant. And then when I beat the campaign, I was like, where's the gold bricks? There's something called Mythal bricks all over the map. Are Mythal bricks gold bricks? They're not. There is no gold bricks. There's no equivalent to gold bricks. Mythal bricks you have to use for crafting. The way crafting works is that you get a schematic. There's 16 levels in the game. There's a schematic in every level, and then there's another 16 scattered throughout the map. Some schematics require certain characters, like you need Saruman to blow up silver shit, and there's like 4 different schematics that require that. And then use that to build things. But you need to get materials to build that. And you have a choice of either grinding out getting those materials, or there's a place you can buy them. Now, buying them wouldn't be a problem if you had the money. So, red bricks. How do you get the red bricks? By giving people, built objects with schematics. So it's very circular. Plus, don't forget, some schematics are in levels, which means it kind of feels like you're going to need to replay levels over and over again. Like, first run to get the schematic, second run to get the mini kits, third run to get whatever the fuck. And it's just, you didn't have to do anything like this in any of the other games. Like, you can pick up the mini kits, you can pick up the amber brick in the case of Jurassic World. I can't think of any other game that has anything like that. You can pick up whatever else in one go, because you already have all the characters, you already have all the red bricks. Also, it helps that like Batman and Lego Movie and Incredibles have flying characters. Luckily enough, there is a really easy way to get money. Like, I looked up, money farming tactics or whatever on YouTube, and I found a video, and I was expecting it to be something tedious and just overall not worth it. But no, it's actually quite easy. You just fast travel to this place, go to a certain part on this wee tiny island, and there'll be a purple stud. And as long as you just go back and forth, like just a couple of steps, that purple stud will keep on respawning. So just that wee bit completely breaks the loop. Because you do that, you buy the materials you need for studs 2, you buy studs 2, you apply studs 2, you go back to that place, you pick up purple studs, and then so on until you have all the red bricks. And then you go to the levels. Oh, and also you need to pick up mithril bricks, which are used for crafting. I know I mentioned that earlier. But they are really just gold bricks. They also require certain shit depending on what it is. Something I find annoying is that there are quite a few where you need to create a custom character. It's like one of them you need to have a custom character that is a dragon, like just dragon costume, and it's just I haven't done anything yet because I can't be bothered. Rant over. Jesus Christ, it's been on for half an hour. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been trying to catch up on YouTubers that I watch because I'm subscribed to 82 people on YouTube. And we can split them into 3 different types. The first type are ones I just don't watch. Like, I'm subscribed to Ubisoft's YouTube channel, and most of it is just weekly updates on For Honor. And I haven't played For Honor in 4 years, so I don't really watch them. It's only unless they announce something and something that I do play, like Far Cry or something. Second type are people that I watch while playing games, so that's just basically the politics people. So, politics and music. Any like YouTube channel of a musical artist or band that I listen to, anytime they upload, I'll watch it while playing games. But there's also the politics. You have Common Sense Soapbox, Marcus's second channel, Foundation for Economic Education, Freedom Tunes. Paul's second channel. Yeah. And then there's also just like sort of true crime. I don't want to call it true crime, but that's the best way I can describe it. Like Gamer from Mars and Nerd City. And then the third type are people that I watch just excuse me, fucking about. Which is it's basically just iceberg videos. And there are a couple of those people that I'm subscribed to them. I used to watch their videos consistently, but in the past year, I just couldn't be bothered. Especially with Maker. Maker will make a 9-hour long iceberg, split it up into parts, but instead of uploading each part as they're finished, he will wait until he finishes the entire thing, then release the entire thing in one day. And it made it tedious. But I've been trying to catch up. And I want to watch those videos more than I want to watch the shit on Apple, which it's annoying because, you know, Apple, 1 week free trial, YouTube. I mean, nothing's really going to happen to it. So, yeah. I think that's everything I have to say. I'm going to pause now just to make sure that there's nothing else I need to review. I don't think there's anything else to review, but I think there is something I've got to mention. I said how, you know, I'll be watching the undisclosed Apple show when I'm at home, and I'll be watching Masters of the Air with my granda. But with 5 Days at Memorial, I'll be watching that only when I'm at his house, but I'm technically alone. Now, if it weren't for the personal reason, he would leave quite often, and I would be just at his house alone for about an hour, and then is when I would watch. Recently, it's been Doctor Who. But when I had Apple the first time, when Savvy got it and I was using his account, I would have watched, Tell Me Grey and stuff like that. But because of the personal reason, he's not going out anymore. He's staying home. So really, it's if he's asleep. Like I might put on Masters of the Air, he'll fall asleep, and instead of putting on the next episode of Master of the Air, I'll just sneak on a 5 Days at Memorial. It's going to be confusing for him if he wakes up, but it's not like he's liking Masters of the Air anyway.